on them. No goals, but this power play opportunity has to feel a little bit like a must-do here starting out the third.
Let's go to Rich Lodwick.
Dean, this is a period that you'd like to forget, but you're still in this one. What happened in that period, and what do you got to correct?
I think we got to play strong defensively, but we got to work together. Win the battles. Right now, Bismarck's winning the battles. They obviously want it more than we do right now, and we got to correct that.
Now you got a power play. That's the good news to start the third period. A goal there is crucial. You really got to try to get that goal on that power play to start the third period.
Oh, no doubt about it. Next goal is a huge one, and we want to, we got to gain control of that first part of the period.
Thanks a lot. Fargo South down 2-0. They're in a little bit of trouble. Back to you.
Thank you, Rich. The 1999 State Hockey Semifinals. You're watching them on the North Dakota NBC Sports Network. We'll return to North Dakota Farmers Insurance Period Break Report coverage. You're watching the 99 State Hockey Tournament. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Well, Tim, as we take a look at the second period, after the first period, South had a 7-3 shots on net advantage. That pretty much did 80 in the second period.
Well, a great period for Bismarck. They not only got the 2 early goals, put them on the board, but they kept Fargo South off the board. You take a look at the stats here. Bismarck with the 15 attempts. They were able to get 6 of those on Clay Manny, or 8 of those on Clay Manny. 2 of them got by him. Of course, the 2-0 lead. On the other side of the coin, Fargo South, 11 attempts. Got 8 on Lane Sedevy. He saved every one of them. So again, Bismarck with that 2-0 lead here going into the third.
Well, Bismarck, as we can take a look at the shot chart.
Here you see Fargo South. They're not getting many shots, Dan, inside those dots. Bismarck's doing a great job of keeping them on the perimeter. Even the 3 that are inside there, outside of the shot by Hunter, which is the one at the top of the circle there, which actually missed the net. Not a lot of great shot opportunities. There you see the 2 goals. One by Mason, the early one, up at the top of the circle there. And then, of course, Tom Erickson with the rebound off to the left of the face-off, getting the 2 shots. The other 4 opportunities down in deep. The opportunities outside, most of the South opportunities have been from the outside. And now here you see the 2 goals on the Shields instant replay. Down in deep, this was the first one. Dalton Eichele just throws it out in front. And James Mason sets up deep. This is where his office is. He stood out there and waited. The opportunity came, shot away, just dribbled through Clay Manny. It was 1-0 Bismarck.
2:41, and it was Mason's 27th.
That came from Eichele and Erickson. Coming down, then Dooley takes the shot. Manny doesn't control the rebound, and getting there first is Tom Erickson. He gets it by on the short side, 2-0, and that's where we are, Dan, headed into this third period.
That was Tom Erickson's 10th goal of the year. So we begin the third period, 2-0 Bismarck, and the Bruins have a minute 41 remaining on the power play. And you don't want to say it's a must power play, but it's on the doorsteps of being a must power play for the Bruins.
I'm with you. I'd say it's certainly in that must category. They just haven't been able to break through. They have to have something happen here early. If they go down 3-0, Dan, I'm not sure that the way things have been going that they're going to be able to come back.
And their first power play was unproductive.
It wasn't very productive. They got the Askew line, who's really been the only ones generating any offense late shift, and they didn't have a lot of energy to start it, and it carried over throughout the Fargo South power play. Now the face-off's going to come all the way back down. Maybe not here. They're going to keep it down on the Bismarck side of the blue line. As Overby got the touch on the puck inside the line, as Hunter and Askew were scrambling their way out.
Hunter, Askew, Anderson, Overby, and Waitson, the 5 on the power play for Fargo South. Penalty kill unit for Bismarck High is Stuart Mason, Seeklander, and Mark Erickson.
Little different look here for Fargo South as they've got Askew back at the point in this one, as now he steps up inside, but they're unable to control it.
Waitson tried to play it ahead for Askew. Now Hunter carries in. Hunter gives to Overby. Deflection in front by Anderson, and Sedevy stops that. Now Hunter gets it back. Overby at the near point. Hunter with a drive. It hits Seeklander in his back and deflects out. Here's Waitson. His pass intended, but intercepted by Mason, and he clears for Bismarck High.
We had a great angle on that shot from Hunter. It looked like it was going to go in, and it just hit Seeklander at the last minute, as I'm sure Sedevy couldn't see it.
Eric Laufenberg carries and then dumps into the Bismarck zone. 38 seconds remaining on the Bruin power play. We're in the opening 2 minutes of the second period. Bismarck 2, Fargo South nothing. The winner goes to the state championship game. Corwin lays it out in front. It's deflected to the near boards. Now Overby has it. Deflection in front, and that went wide by Laufenberg. Now Corwin plays it back to Overby. Corwin moving in, shooting in. Sedevy makes his save, and then he stops Laufenberg on the rebound. Corwin gets it back and trickles across the crease. Oh, Lane Sedevy has been up to the challenges here on the South power play, which is down to 1 second now. And Bismarck High back at full strength, and the Demons survive some late pressure on the power play by the Bruins.
Well, Fargo South did a nice job setting things up there. Tanner Corwin right where he wanted to be. Sedevy with a great save and the rebound. Laufenberg just not able to get that rebound opportunity by him. Some good chances.
Tom Erickson carrying at center ice for Bismarck, puts a shot right on net, and Clay Manny decides to squeeze it for the Bruins.
Boy, that is awful big for Bismarck to survive that one.
Let's go to Rich Lodwick.
Well, Dan and Tim, our first casualty of the game, junior defenseman Justin Smith is out for the game. He will not return. He has a sore shoulder suffered in the first period when he took a hard hit into the boards, and he will not return.
Thank you very much, Rich Lodwick. As we see Tanner Corwin's drive from the slot, he had a lot of room to operate there. Then Laufenberg on the rebound, and Sedevy made that stop.
And I think just getting the stick in there was Stewart. Then you see the continuation there as Corwin with another chance, just trying to get it on net as they should. Hansen unable to get to it for Fargo South. So Bismarck survives the early power play. 12:53 left here in the third. They continue to carry that 3-0 lead.
Well, with Justin Smith out now for the rest of the game, it likely means that Ty Waitson will see more regular shifts at that defensive spot for the Bruins. So really, Dean Wilson down to 4 defensemen. Overby, Ness, Mulbert, and Waitson.
Well, I don't believe that since we saw Kennedy, 6'4", 190, Nick Kennedy get the injury there in the second period. We haven't seen him come back either. I'm not sure what the problem here is, Dan, but 2-0. Let's take a break here. Third period action in the state hockey tournament.
It's more than a loss of time and money when your wild odor pigeon grass herbicide lets you down.
Even worse this year, huh, Dad?
It's a broken promise.
Thought we had them licked this time. We're gonna have to make some changes.
New Achieve herbicide now delivers grass performance you've never had before in all wheat, durum, and barley. It's time for new Achieve grass herbicide. Grass control that earns its pay.
A tradition of academic excellence. University of Mary graduates learn the meaning of success. The University of Mary offers 24 undergraduate majors, graduate programs in nursing, business, education, and physical therapy. Our faculty is the foundation upon which an outstanding education is built. Private education at an affordable cost, providing a Christian, Catholic, Benedictine learning environment. The road to your success begins at the University of Mary.
Well, Dan, we had a little whistle repair. There's some guys say they shouldn't use them anyway, but got it fixed. We're ready to go again.
Oh, there's a drive by Mason right on net. Manny kicked that aside. Now it's centered in front, intent for Mason, broken up by Ascuti, plays it up to the far boards, and Corwin. But Mason wins the puck back. Now here's Dalton Eichley. Mulbert comes in to defend him. He throws it out in front, intended for Mason. At the far point, Miller's drive knocked down by Askew, who got a glove on it, carries ahead now to center ice. Then played off the play. Miller fires it off the far boards. Mulbert has it for the Bruins. A shot right on net, and Sedevy struggled with it. And then it's played to the near boards. 12:05 remaining here in the third period. Bismarck 2 and South nothing. Coming up later, 3-time defending state champion Red River against Fargo North.
Well, Dan, in the battle of the big lines, the Askew line out there all night long against Mark Erickson, Mason, and Eichley. I have to say, so far, it's kind of gone the way of that Bismarck line. A large reason for that, James Mason, number of shots on net, the big goal, of course, the early one in the second period. They gave him a 1-0 lead, and boy, I'll tell you what, he is a gifted scorer.
Laufenberg off the face-off, and the drive also put on net by Feldman was stopped. Now Overby gets it, lets a shot go. Sedeby makes the save, lost it momentarily, but got it back and covers up, and then Mike Christensen was spilled to the ice by one of those big demon defensemen.
Well, the other story, of course, is Lane Sedeby. That's 23 saves on the night. But again, we said off the top, Bismarck would have to have a solid defensive effort. And this kind of exemplifies, you see the shot from Overby. There's no Fargo South Bruins around, and when they get there, sequence them down. They've played very solid, keeping the shots in the perimeter, and really have not given Fargo South, since the early stage of this game, any good offensive opportunities.
Here comes Lashin up the far wing, and the puck squirts into the Bruins zone. Christensen fights for it there to the right and behind goaltender Clay Manny. Waits and tried to get it ahead to Laufenberg, but it's played back into the near corner. Battled for there, and Lashin plays it in deeper. Now Waitson for Fargo South. Headman for Laufenberg, too far for him. Overby shoots it off the near boards, and it caroms back to Seeklander. Jeremy Seeklander, the big defenseman, throws it into the far corner. Manny comes out of the net and steers it to the near boards. Overby gets a stick on it there for the Bruins and moves it to neutral ice. Chris Overby throws it into the demon zone, and it's rifled right back to neutral ice, where Mulbert gets a stick on it. Under 11 minutes to play, third period, and a goal by the Bruins instead of he left the net. And it was centered in front, and I think it's Travis Anderson.
Boy, I'll tell you what a big goal is. Back behind the net, a little miscommunication between Sedeby and Miller. They're unable to get the stick on it. They just slip it out in front, and Johnny on the spot is Josh Hunter, because he gets it out in front to Anderson. And just as we've talked about the solid defense, kind of a fluke here. Here you see great replay, the Shields replay. Sedeby doesn't use both hands, and the consequence is the puck gets through him. Miller can't get there. Hunter gets it in front, and before Sedeby can get back, was a little slow, Dan. I don't think reacted quite as fast as he should have. Now he starts to scramble, but it's too late. His getting there is Travis Anderson. It's 2-1 anybody's game.
Travis Anderson is 22nd goal of the year, team leading 22nd goal of the year, and South is on the board.
Boy, how fast, Dan, it can change.
4:17, the official time of the goal. Now the Demons throw it in front. Defenseman John Stewart got a stick on it. He's tied up by Hunter. Al Ness for the Bruins fires to neutral ice, but Jason Miller is right there to dump it back in. Well, yesterday in the opening round, Fargo North trailed Minot 2-0 going to the third period before the Spartans got 2 in the third to take it into overtime and then eventually win it in overtime. Now ahead, Tanner Corwin at center ice. 1-on-2, Tanner Corwin with a quick shot, steered aside by Sedeby. Seeklander gets it, pitches it ahead to neutral ice. Overby along the near boards, battles Mason for the puck there. Mason is able to forge it into the zone, but Waitson picks it up. Fired too far for Hansen, actually behind him. And that icing call will bring the face-off back into the Bruin zone.
Well, Bismarck steps up off the goal. A lot of times you'll see the ice kind of tip the direction of the team that's giving it up and come right back with some pretty good composure, put a little pressure on. Tanner Corwin comes down the other way, gets a good shot on net. He's had several opportunities tonight. Tanner's driving in the zone. I thought Mother Vicky was going to go right over the boards and join him out there. She came running down and watch it.
She's instant replay.
Here you see Tanner as he drives in the zone. Again, good defensive play by Bismarck. She's a 1-on-2. It's tough to make your way through that. And the good choice is to get the shot away, as he did. Got it on net. But Sedeby controls it easily.
Bismarck High taking a late line change now as they get some work in the crease area.
Well, you know, Dan, it's a lot of hockey for these kids 3 days in a row, and particularly when you've got several players that might play an awful lot, as both these teams do. Mason, of course, Askew, Hunter, Corwin out there an awful lot. This is a nice break for them.
Will break away. 9:28 remaining third period. It's Bismarck 2 and South 1.
basketball, football, volleyball. From youth through adult sizes, we've got them all. At Home of Economy, High 81 North Grand Forks.
Behind the headlines, there are people, real people whose lives are changed. At KVLY News 11, we cover more than the story. We cover the people behind the story.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me.
KVLY News 11 with Charlie Johnson, Robin Hubner, Darren Selvig, meteorologist Tom Szymanski, and Dan Hammer Sports. Live at 5, The Valley Today at 6, and News 11 at night. It's all about people. KVLY News 11, the Valley's choice for news.
Big draw down in deep in the Fargo South zone. Brandon Askew, he'll step in with Mike Lashin.
Still free in the circle. Hansen gets a stick on it. And it poked away, though, by Esslinger. Now it's being battled for along the near boards. Dumped in deeper behind goaltender Clay Manny. Waitson throws it up the far boards. Too far for Corwin. Seeklander playing it back in. But here's Overby now carrying. Up the middle of the rink comes Chris Overby. Taking off the play. Carrying back is Steve Dooley. Dooley centers in front, and Overby got a stick on it to break it up. Nobody was there anyway for Bismarck High. Now at neutral ice, Miller and Overby collided. Askew taken off the play by John Stewart. The big defenseman doing a nice job to keep Askew from penetrating any deeper. Now Sedevy partially cuts off the puck. Clearing pass. Deflected. It's loose high in the slot. Christensen taken off the play by Stewart. They continue to be tied up, but it's pitched ahead to neutral ice. Mulbert gets a stick on it and fires it in. 8:20 remaining, third period. Bismarck 2, South 1. Now back comes Esslinger. Matt Esslinger tied up by Mulbert on the play.
Tom Erickson,
and
several steps.
Several.
Side and the other side as Esslinger got stood up at the blue line nicely. Down to 8:10 left here in the third period. Bismarck with the 2-1 lead. Just starting to get a little bit shorter, Dan, both ways. Very seldom do these high school teams play 2 nights in a row, and overlooking for his stick.
Chris Overby's looking for his stick.
Yeah, I think
he went to the penalty box. It wasn't there. And now it comes off the Bismarck bench.
Gee, what a surprise. Huh? Things are expensive these days.
Hunter and Mark Erickson off the faceoff. Wadeson had to go off the end of his stick. Now Manny's stick breaks in half. So Overby gives him his stick. How did that break in half? It looked like a meaningless play, Tim.
Well, it had to have been in an awful weak state. Overby just got the stick back.
There's a shot in. Mark Erickson put it just wide. So Clay Manny, not having the arsenal that he's used to in his hand, playing with the stick of Chris Overby. Hunter now has given Overby his stick, so the defenseman Chris Overby has a little stick to work with. Mason keeping the puck alive. Koska lays down and blocks that shot. It's played in deeper by the defenseman Dylan Hoff. Now Eichley trying to keep it alive, and it's picked up by Koska. He fires off the far boards. Hoff will retreat in his own zone. Dylan Hoff carrying. And South will be very happy with that whistle as Clay Manny will retreat, get a new stick.
Funny deal, Dan. You know, you think that if Clay Manny would have even hardly leaned on that stick the way it broke a little bit earlier, he'd have known that, but absolutely no pressure on it. We'll take a look at the replay here. As you see, just innocently, the puck's coming on net. He's lucky, frankly, that puck wasn't coming harder. It would have gone through and been in the net, as he hardly leaned on that, and it broke right in half there. Very unusual. So South fortunate down to 7:10 left, and of course Bismarck saw that and reacted like a bunch of sharks to blood there to try and see if they could get a low shot on the net there before Overby was able to get a stick to Manny.
Face-off will come at neutral ice. Esslinger will take it against Askew. 7:10 remaining third period. Bismarck 2, South 1. Bismarck High scored 2 goals in 2:41. Now Askew and Corwin come 2-on-1. Askew centers for Hansen. He bangs away at the side of the net. And the puck is free behind the net. Corwin trying to get a stick on it. Askew is there, so is Stewart for Bismarck High. Corwin. Mulbert with a drive, and Sedevy makes the save. Now Askew centers in front, and Corwin shoots and scores! Tanner Corwin has tied the game at 2.
Well, again, that quickness. As the shot came down in deep, Dan, there wasn't anybody around in front of the net. But Brandon Askew got there first to the rebound. He saw Tanner Corwin all alone in front, and Corwin made no mistake. As the good low shot beat Sedevy, we're all tied up at 2. Here on the Shields replay, the shot came from Mulbert at the point, but look, Dan, there's nobody anywhere around the net. Sedevy had trouble with the rebound. He struggled to get back up. And Brandon Askew just gets there first. Look at Corwin, stick in the ice right where it should be. Sedevy never had a chance. Here's another angle on the Shields instant replay. The shot for Mulbert. Watch Sedevy now. He struggles to get back up. He falls. Askew gets there first. Sedevy, maybe a little tired, should have had that one cleared out to the corner. He paid for it. His Tanner Corwin, the big senior right winger, has got this one tied up.
2 goals in 4 minutes and 8 seconds for the Bruins. They wipe out a 2-0 deficit. And down the stretch we come, tied at 2.
The Bruins now stretching that shot lead, 27-12 for the Bruins. I don't think that Bismarck has a shot on net here in the third, Dan.
I think they have one. I believe it was 11 after 2 periods.
Hit the post. Misplays by both goaltenders. One ended up in the net. That one just about breaks the tie as Manny gets a little sloppy, Dan, down in deep.
Dalton Eichel from that tough angle still hits the far post. So Tanner Corwin tying the game. And as you said, Sedevy looked like he lacked the energy to get up as quickly as you thought he might. Now Anderson carrying into the zone. A blast wide of the net. Hunter chases it down in the near corner. Roloff takes him into the boards, and the Bruins can't hold the zone, and Bill Ness will retreat. Ness trying to get it to Koska. Here's Sieklander throwing it into the Bismarck bench.
Well, South with a little extra energy right now at a time in the game when it's really important. Both these teams perhaps showing a little bit of, I don't know if the word is exhaustion, but certainly a little bit of drag here is late into the second game within 24 hours. You're going to probably see both coaches try and run down now those 25, 30-second quick shifts. And all it takes is a mistake, like we almost saw down here in the Fargo South Zone here just a second ago, to break this tie here late. 5:26 left.
Askew and Esslinger off the face-off. Mulbert takes a whack or two at it. Now it's played into the Bruin zone. Ness ahead to Askew. And a poke check away by the big defenseman Stewart. Now Mulbert carrying into the zone. Drop pass. Hansen shoots and scores! Matt Hansen gives South a 3-2 lead.
Boy, and Hansen, as we've seen through his years here in the tournament, has got the quick release, and he let that one go fast. Sedevy didn't have a chance. He got a piece of it, but a great play by Andy Mulbert to get the puck in his zone. Let's look at the Shields replay. He stood up here at the blue line, but somehow was able to drag it through. He hears Hansen. Look how fast he lets that one go, and he just cleanly beats Lane Sedevy. It's 3-2 South with 2 quick ones here late in the third. Here again, Mulbert on the Shields instant replay. You're going to get a good look at this one. You'll see it how Sedevy did. He never had a chance off the post. Matt Hansen, a big goal here for the senior. 3-2 now, Fargo South with 5:03 left.
What a change in momentum, and how this hockey game has changed in the last 5 minutes. And Jay Johnson, and wisely so, takes a timeout.
Oh, he has to. Boy, things, and you know, it all starts with that innocent mistake behind the net, where Sedevy was unable to get both hands on the stick and stop the puck, and then was a little late getting back to the net as it came out front. And Fargo South had just not been able to get any good opportunities to get it by them. They get the sloppy one, and they've been able to turn it on 2 strong goals here in a short period of time and take the lead. It does resemble last night's game with Fargo North and Minot. See, maybe we can pick some of this up down in the Bismarck bench. Sounds, Dan, like what Jay Johnson's going to maybe try and go back to that high winger they did a little bit late in the second period. Again, they've had 1 shot on net here in the third as Fargo South has really turned it up here. Fargo South with 13-1 shot edge here in the third, and of course with 3 goals to take the lead. As I don't know what Dean Wilson said in between periods there, but whatever it was, certainly they've come out here with a great third period when they had to.
South got on the board at 4:15 of this period. Tanner Corwin tied it at 8:23, and just a minute and 34 after that, Matt Hansen giving the Bruins the 3-2 lead. 5 minutes to play here in the third period. The winner goes on to tomorrow night's state championship game. Waitson throws it ahead to Corwin, now to Hunter. Or check it, Askew blazing up the far wing. Askew in on net, shoots and scores! What an individual effort by Brandon Askew.
Well, we've been waiting to see Askew do that all night long. As Askew came down ice, little hesitation move, and he flew by the Bismarck defense. Sedevy made the save. I think that went off of the Bismarck defense. We'll get a look at it here in the replay. And when things start going good for you, they go great. And sometimes when things start going bad, they go really bad. Here you see Askew on the Shields instant replay. Look at the speed. He steps up ice. He'll stop for just a second, and bang, there he goes. He's by the defense, comes in. He's got a look. He loses his glove, and it was off the, I think maybe Hansen might end up getting the goal there. I think it's off of Hansen's skate. Let's take another look. Here you see Askew protects the puck well. Doesn't have a lot to look at, so he gets the shot away. So he makes the save, but it's off the skate of Matt Hansen. Matt Hansen should get the goal, his second of the night, and now the 2-goal cushion for Fargo South here with 4:44 left.
That's 2 goals in 19 seconds for the Bruins.
And the timeout doesn't do a lot for you here in this situation.
Now Anderson carries back, shoots, rebound, and you got to wonder if Sedevy is a little gun-shy and a little shaky right now.
Well, I'll tell you, Sedevy with 2 good saves there. He gave the rebound up and made a big save. South almost with their 3rd goal and within a half a minute here. And I'll tell you what, Bismarck looks like the air has been totally let out of the bag. And you can imagine, Dan, you're tied up 2-2 and all of a sudden, bang, bang. You're like Mike Tyson used to be.
Well, it's like a guy goose hunting that just took his plug out of the gun, because it's been boom, 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 boom.
We haven't heard the announcement. That should go to Matt Hansen, the second of the night, the assist to Askew, but certainly Askew the one that made it happen.
Face off, far circle in the Bismarck zone. Wadeson's partially fans on the shot. Now Stewart plays it ahead to neutral ice. Wadeson gets it back. Of course, South down 1 defender after Justin Smith left the hockey game with a shoulder injury. Askew partially avoids that check by Erickson.
And it's been a physical game. Bismarck delivering most of the hits. Played very strong here coming into the third. It looked like the wear and tear from those hits was very telling. The soft goal got Fargo South started, and they've responded with a great third period here. They have outshot Bismarck 16-1 with the 4 goals, and they've got the 4-2 lead on their way to the finals here with 4:11 left.
Esslinger and Askew off the face-off. Now Ness.
Dan, with a little help of instant replay there, they did give the goal to Hansen.
Okay. So Matt Hansen, back-to-back goals. Here's Corwin, along with Hansen. Corwin shoots it. Sedevy makes the save and covers up. And then Hansen is sprawled to the ice.
Well, Hansen came in. He had dreams there of the pure hat trick, 3 in 1 period. Tried to put the late stick on Sedevy, and of course the Bismarck defense reacts a little bit. Shields instant replay. What a pass from over to Tanner Corwin from Askew again. Corwin hesitated a little bit. He saw Hansen come and decided to take the shot, and there you see Setterby tied up, and Erickson comes in with the hit then on Hansen. Down to 3:48 left. Fargo South just wants to be careful, doesn't want to give anything up here, where Bismarck would have a chance to potentially tie it up late.
Lashin and Askew take the face off. Stewart gets it and he fires it. Puck rings to the near boards and out to neutral ice. Ness now for the Bruins. And it's picked off by Mason. James Mason, backhander, knocked out by Mulbert. Oh my, is Askew just creamed. And now here's a 2-on-none. Corwin, backhander. What a save by Setterby. Corwin gets it back to Mulbert. He winds up. It's deflected in front by Hansen. And Setterby, well,
great action.
He's come back with a couple of outstanding saves.
Well, the defenseman for Bismarck stepped in, delivered the big hit to Askew, but he sent it up ice. He sent Corwin in with Hansen. Let's take a look at it here. As it comes up ice and behind the defense, there comes Corwin in with Hansen. Looked like he might make the pass, went to the backhand, just rolled off his stick there. There's a big period here by Corwin, Hansen, and Askew has led Fargo South to that 4-2 lead.
Well, the hit of the tournament, though, high in the Bruins' end, where John Stewart
stepped in on Askew.
Momentarily destroyed Brandon Askew.
That doesn't happen very often.
Now Anderson behind the net, centers it. Stewart gets a stick on that. Lashin with a shot that rings the near boards. We're down to 3 minutes to play in the third period. South 4, Bismarck 2. Yes, I know. If you tuned in and maybe got up and left for a few minutes, you're saying, what? It was 2-0 Bismarck coming to the third. But the Bruins have scored 4 here in the third period. Now Mason. James Mason into the zone. He'll try to get around Waitson. Centers in front of it. Broken up by Koska, who steers it to the far boards. Now Travis Anderson for the Bruins, giving to Hunter. Josh Hunter plays it into the zone as the Bruins get a line change with 2:25 to go. Hansen nearly comes up with the steal. He does. He's got Corwin in front. Corwin shoots it. Setterby gets a piece of it. Hansen gets it back behind the net. Tied up by Sieklander. Hansen still operating. He's got Askew in front. Hansen puts the shot on. And it was tied up long enough to bring the whistle, even though the puck was loosened up again after that.
Well, it wasn't. Brandon Askew doesn't think it was. As it came loose, came out to me, put it away. He nods and said, okay, yeah, let's take a look at it. Here on the Shields instant replay. Television never lies, Dan. Hansen looking to get the pass over to Corwin there. He just missed with it. Hansen picks it up. He wants that hat trick. He'll wind around in front there. He got the shot on net. Apparently Setterby held on to it for long enough. 17-1 the shots here in the third.
My goodness. Fargo South has used the blueprint that Fargo used yesterday in its opening round win. North trailed 2-0 to Minot before winning in overtime. South has scored 4 unanswered goals here in the third period. Askew in the far corner. Roloff is there, so is Esslinger. Esslinger tying up Brandon Askew. Clock still 3 now. Esslinger gets it, overskates it. Hansen picks it up, gives to Askew in front, and he couldn't get it off the end of his stick, and then he's hauled down in the play. And it's moved ahead to neutral ice. But Corwin gets it back and then fires to the far corner as the Bruins get a line change. Sieklander has it for Bismarck High. Jeremy Sieklander, his pass too far as it was intended for Dooley. And we're down to 1:16 to go. The icing call.
Well, and Dan, it's one of those situations where as you look back at it and you're Jay Johnson, you're going to kind of say, boy, did we run out of gas? Did Fargo South pick it up? What happened to us here? Because all of a sudden, you went from looking in command, as you see on the instant replay here, the Shields instant replay, as Brandon Askew stepped out in front, looked like he might have a good shot opportunity, was denied. You wonder, did you run out of gas or did Fargo South just pick it up that much? And I think perhaps a little bit of both. Great third period here by the Bruins will send them into the title game.
Here's Waitson with a drive off the faceoff. Fargo South has appeared in just 2 championship games in the last 18 years. Travis Anderson with a drive and a glove save. The Bruins played in the '81 championship game. They were defeated by Fargo North. And then in 1994, the Bruins won their only state championship, beating Grand Forks Central, a year in which, if you remember, and if you were an avid high school hockey fan, Tim O'Keefe predicted not only the shift, but the player who would score the game-winning goal that year for the Bruins.
Well, you get lucky sometimes. Wilson in his 9th year. That's a long time in between. I'm sure he's real excited to be going back here. He's got another minute and 1 ticks to control this 2-0 lead.
Here's Travis Anderson with a shot, and he scores!
Well, now it's a 3-goal lead. And again, I think, Dan, that 4th goal just took whatever gas Bismarck had left out of them. And Fargo South, ever since they got the first one, has just picked it up a little bit more. They're winning all the foot races now that maybe were kind of neutralized through the middle part of the game. And here you see Anderson, his second on the night, is Koska on the Shields instant replay, gives it back to him. Nothing fancy, just steps around and fires in net. And Lane Sedevy has given up 5, but I'll tell you what, he had 2 great periods for Bismarck. And just a great third period. 19 shots on net now to 1. That's a night's worth of work.
Oh, my.
In 1 period.
Pair of goals on the night for Travis Anderson. His 23rd of the year, coming at 14:06. So the Bruins have a date in the championship game. And they'll play the winner of our next semifinal game, Red River and Fargo North. Boy, they got them in bunches tonight at 15, 8:23, 9:57. And then, as you say, the real backbreaker after Hansen had given South a 3-2 lead. Just 19 seconds later, he scored again to put the Bruins up 4-2.
Well, it just kills you. Take the timeout. There you see the shots on goal, 36-12, and it's been stuck on that 12. Just the 1 shot in the third for Bismarck, the better part of the third period. You take the timeout, and just a couple seconds later, your 1-goal deficit turned into a 2-goal, and they just haven't been able to respond.
Bill Ness intercepts that centering pass. 4 seconds and counting. Fargo South as they storm goaltender Clay Manny. The Bruins going to the title game with a 5-2 win over Bismarck High after trailing 2-0 coming to the third period. Wow.
Well, Clay Manny's going to set a boy, fellas. You know, third period, I have a lot of fun to watch it. I was a spectator. I enjoyed it as much as the fans in the stands, because he not only didn't see much action in terms of shots, he just plain didn't see many maroon and white jerseys down in his end of the rink.
Well, you mentioned that South won the little battles too in that third period leading up to their barrage of goals, and it's something that Dean Wilson reflected on between the second and third period, is that up until that point, maybe Bismarck wanted those battles a little bit more and won those battles in the first 30 minutes of the hockey game.
Well, Bismarck was able to sustain last night the pressure they created early. Last night, it worked. Tonight, they just simply weren't able to, and it's a good point, Dan. Dean talked about that. The coin really turned in the third period for Fargo South. They won the one-on-ones. They won all the foot battles, and the consequence is they're going into the championship.
We go to Rory Hintz. Rory?
All right, thanks very much, guys. We got Dalton Eichley here, a senior forward for the Demons, and it was a good go.
What's that?
It was a good go.
We gave it our best. I don't know. You put it out on the line. Lane played great. You know, we had to back check a little better. It's all right. You know, we gave it our best, and we got to play that better tomorrow night, I guess.
Nothing to hang your heads about. What a great first-round game, and it catapulted into this one.
What's that?
Yesterday was a good first-round game. It catapulted into a similar game. First time since '92. You guys have nothing to hang your heads about.
Yeah, well, it's fun to be out here. I mean, nobody's ever done this, played on TV, and we're pretty happy. I don't know. We just wish it could have came out better, I guess.
Thanks so much for your time. Let's go over to Rich.
All right, thanks a lot, Rory. Travis Anderson, congratulations. 2 goals tonight. What got into you guys after that second period? What did you say to you guys? Because you really came out on fire.
Well, we knew that, I mean, if we lost this game, we were done for the season. And we just, we came out flying. We wanted to get some goals right away and get the momentum shift going our way.
Were you getting a little down? Obviously you were after being down 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, they came out hard in the second. They popped in 2 quick goals, and we're just lucky to change the momentum, swing our way.
Thanks a lot, Travis Anderson. And over here is Matt Hansen, 2 goals tonight. Matt, I tell you, you guys really did what you had to, and that shows the character of the team.
Yeah, our third period has been our best period all year long, and we knew we had a gut check. Right, coming in the third period, we know we had to do it.
Give us a little preview tomorrow night. Do you think you can you can get the same energy you had in the third period tonight?
It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt Hansen and Travis Anderson. Dan, that's the story down here on the ice. Back to you and Tim.
Okay, Rich, thank you very much. Fargo North and Grand Forks Red River waiting in the tunnels, but Fargo South is the first to gain a spot in the state championship game, and yes, indeed, it's called a 45-minute game, and tonight Bismarck High was the better team for 30 minutes, but South was a better team in the last 15 minutes. Dreaming about playing in a game like this, as Travis Anderson said.
Travis Anderson scored a lot of big goals this year. He's a little bit of the forgotten offensive equation. But I will say this, Dan, Brandon Askew has to have a huge night, a big game. He's got the key offensive cog, certainly, for Fargo South. Matt Malm knows it. They're going to lay the body on him. They'll be aware of him every time he's on the ice.
We'll dive a little deeper into our pregame show. Breakaway now. This is the pregame.